Typefaces and typography, I think, have about at least 10 years of extremely strong growth ahead of them, simply because we haven't figured out the best ways of serving this kind of information that we need on the different platforms that we're using. We have extremely well developed ways of designing information for moderate screen sizes or large screen sizes, and that's fine. I don't think we know a lot yet about how to serve information on small sizes, and especially with kinds of information that have been slower to move on to screens, primarily things like with education and learning. One of the most interesting developments in the last 10 years has been the opening up of an understanding of how documents operate in other cultures. People with very different ways of daily lives are consuming texts and creating text on very similar devices, very similar forms. And especially in areas where there has not been a long tradition of a thick cable going to your home, in countries that are very densely populated like Europe, people rely on wireless devices to communicate, and that shows that you need to develop the resources for this. So typefaces that serve well all the scripts for all the communities that only have perhaps a mobile phone text to use, but also that have a typographic complexity. You have to understand history to understand typography, you have to understand geography to understand typography, because the way nations have developed, the way trade has developed, the way commerce develops, all influence the way typography develops. You need to have an interest in technology to understand this, and also the way people think about themselves. This idea that typography expresses a community's idea of itself, I think, is central to being a good designer. So what is a community's relation to modernity and tradition? Do we think of ourselves as confident community that tries to investigate new ways of expressing ourselves, or do we go back on traditional forms of expression because they remind us of what we used to be comfortable with? Especially in design, we're very lucky to operate in a world that keeps changing a lot because of technology, because of the opening up of borders, because of globalization. There is a huge area of stuff that we can keep learning for not just 5 years of studying, but 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whole careers of a life, and we can never reach a point where we say we've learned everything we need to learn. And that is hugely rewarding for a professional. And it also means that as you mature as a professional, you can find different areas to spend your attention. So to learn always to ask questions, however simple or stupid it might seem at some point, is an essential part of being a successful designer and also a happy person.